I grew up in a rural area of New England and Connecticut along the Long Island Sound. And so most of my childhood and early life was spent outside in nature. And at an early age, I just developed an affinity with the natural world, watching the minutiae, the cycle of life. There was a herd of cows behind my house with a farm that was there, and they were my friends. And from a child's point of view, I really developed a deep love of the natural world, and really, I think, got a sense of the life force of the natural world. And also at the same time, as I grew older, and even as a child, the issues of in the environment were coming up with polluted streams in Connecticut. And Earth Day happened I guess it was 1970, early 1970s was the first Earth Day. And so that became embedded in my psyche as well, as like a concern for taking care of the planet. So fast forward through subsequent education, art school education, finding my way in the world, participating in various businesses that had an environmental focus. When I stopped painting for quite a while and picked it up later in life, I guess I was about age 40. And I started where I left off by painting straight landscapes because of my love of the landscape. Slowly, cows introduced themselves into the work, no coincidence there. And then I started to realize that it didn't satisfy me that to just paint stunning landscapes, even though people told me they were imbued with this sort of sense of life force. I felt that, I saw around me the endangerment of to wildlife. That was my first focus, rather than human beings, because we're the ones doing this. I realized that it just wasn't enough for me. So I had this kind of wacky idea. It seemed wacky at the time, and it's humorous. I had found a lot of beach trash in my days walking the beach where I live, and started making sculptures out of the beach trash, like fake sea life and synthetic sea life, like things that might evolve to live in plastic infested oceans. And then one day I saw a Tide bottle washed up, and didn't really want to look at it, and was going to pick it up on my way back, but I didn't see it as an art object. But it suddenly hit me that it said Tide on it. It was plastic. It had washed up on the beach. It was during a red tide, which is an algae bloom, and was a low tide. So I just I just felt kind of a certain kind of I guess it was somewhat anger, but also this irony and humor, like to find this thing announcing itself as Tide and nature related on the beach. And it was the first one I painted. I plopped it front and center in the seascape and did a whole series of after that, I couldn't find anything on the beach that man-made that didn't have some kind of ironic message about the state of our environment and our oceans in particular, waterways. And this was back in 2009. So I've been at this for a while.